Hello YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2 Legacy of the Void. We are going to be continuing on with our current series, which is Finland versus Ukraine. Now, if you haven't seen the previous videos, please click the description and check those out. There's only one actually. The links are there and available. This game is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss, and on the bottom right hand side of Central Protocol we have DIMAGA. DIMAGA is representing Monolith Team and Ukraine, spawning here as the red Zerg. Now his opponent is Welmu, top left hand side, spawning as the blue Protoss. He's currently teamless and he's from Finland. And just a bit of credit where it's due, he does have his little trophy. Actually, looking at DIMAGA, he does indeed. Well done guys, getting a trophy, which means that they won a tournament, one of those online tournaments, to basically in their own league, which is pretty cool and a nice achievement to have also. Now as you can see, there was a bit of a pause there. That's obviously not recorded in the replay. Let's see what's going to go on here. So looking at build orders, it does look like DIMAGA has opted to go for a hatchery first into the spawning pool straight after. And what has Welmu started? Oh, this is actually an interesting one. So starting off with, this is very peculiar. He's starting off with 2 gateways into a cybernetics core right inside his base. So he hasn't opted to block off anything with any of his buildings. That's definitely peculiar to me. Okay, looks like he's going to put down a Nexus next. And is he going to go ahead and scout right after? Or I mean, not scout, block off? Because I definitely think this is a weird one. Usually you put them here at the least, or you'd put them down on your natural to block off. So let's see, double adepts coming out. Now just to know, DIMAGA has scouted out incorrectly for both occasions. He's obviously already seen this base, so that's all fine and well. But this base, okay, looks like we have a second gas on the way. Now second gas can indicate one of 2 things usually. He's either going to go for a fairly early robotics facility, or he's going to rush a Stargate. Now there we go, he is starting to block this off. I think it's, I suppose maybe not a bit late, but if DIMAGA did start off with an early Zerglings, then that would have went completely south for Welmu. Simply because he would have just been able to run straight into the base, and then two adepts at that point would not be able to do a whole lot. Okay, so he's obviously aware of exactly where Welmu is. Doing a bit of damage to this Nexus. It's going to get pushed back very shortly. Looks like he's not producing anything right now. Just workers. So he's obviously trying to pretty much maximize his own economy. And it does look like he's going for the block here. Now let's see, 2 queens are in place here just to basically block off. There's actually one of them being a creep queen. Creep queen slash defender queen, I suppose. And let's see, yeah, so he's actually thrown out a double Stargate. Wow, this is definitely an interesting one. You'd see 1 Stargate, but not a second one, whereas here he's actually opted to go for 2 straight away. So that is quite significant actually. I mean, it means that he's going to rush some sort of sneaky attack here out of 2 bases. Now, is it going to be Oracles? Is it going to be Void Rays? Welmu, please get Void Rays. I haven't seen Void Rays rushed or even massed up in such a long time. So that would be absolutely awesome to see. Yeah, so he's thrown down 2 more Vespene Geysers. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see. It's most likely Oracles, but like, as I said, I would like to see Void Rays. Okay, that's different. He's actually going for double Phoenix. So not quite sure why you would go for double Phoenix when you're putting up 2 Stargates. Unless, of course, like in one of the previous games that I casted, I think it's about 3 or 4 videos back, there was basically a mass Phoenix play. And basically the Phoenixes were just used to lift off a bunch of drones and just essentially just knock out a lot of buildings. Sorry, not... Was it drones? Yeah, it was indeed. So drones will be the case here as well. So a lair is on the way for DIMAGA as well. Now, has he put down spore crawlers? Not just yet. So he is not going to be prepared for it once it comes around, unless he pops that spore crawler up very, very shortly. Now, I just want to have a quick look to see what Welmu has seen. It does look like he spotted this out at the very, very beginning of its making, so he's going to know the timing on that. Looks like an overlord here also. It was actually one of those converted to transfer units in, but he didn't end up staying with it. Now, because of the amount of Phoenix here, and to be honest, this is actually something I saw in the round of 16 of this tournament. There was somebody who played a lot of Phoenixes and it paid off really well. So look at this, throwing down 2 spore crawlers in every single base, and that is essentially to just basically prevent this massive harassment that goes off from the Zerg player. Or from the Protoss player, because the Phoenixes are ridiculously effective. I mean, you could lift off 2 queens and pick them off before they land again with this amount of Phoenixes. So let's see if he's going to try to do the same thing again. Does look like he's going to manage to pick off 1 roach here. And 2 roaches, 3 roaches going to get taken out here. Looks like these adepts doing quite a lot of damage as well. Is he going to continue on with this engage? Does look like he's going to need to back off here. There's quite a lot of units that are hanging around this base. There's a lot of reinforcements coming in as well, a bunch of Zerglings. So I think at this point that did get warded off. And just to note, there's level 2 ground unit damage coming out from DIMAGA. Now generally you would not see level 2 coming out unless the opponent is trying to build Ultralisks. Sorry, unless you are trying to build Ultralisks. So there's a Hydralisk den on the way, but no Infestor Pit yet. So definitely a weird one. I'm a little bit confused as to what is going on. There's 6 gases at the moment. The 6th one is only going down now. So question is going to be, is it going to go for Infestors into Hive, into Ultralisk? Or is he going to go for a Spire? Okay, so these Phoenixes are just continuously harassing here. Looks like there is actually a 3rd base has already been established here for Welmu, and also there is a robotics facility here being... Oh, no, that's not it. Should be already done somewhere. There we go. So he's actually making 2 robotics facilities there. A bit of a peculiar place, so this would be quite easy to fight, to actually kill. And these Zerglings not going to be able to do a whole lot here. And let's see where they start going off. Okay, looks like the Phoenixes are inside the base here. Picking off another queen. This is actually quite handy for him. And I would argue that these Phoenixes have actually been quite effective here. There we go, more and more economic damage. Now these Overlords are going to be quite safe behind 2 Spore Crawlers. Of course, Spore Crawlers cannot be lifted by Phoenixes. So let's see what's going on here. Now Phoenixes are lifting off a few more probes, or a few more drones, doing a bit more damage. Now I'm not quite sure if it was worth losing a Phoenix on that engage there, but it could be. It depends really on how much minerals you have to spend. And looking at Welmu's economy, he has a bunch of gas, a decent amount of minerals. Question is, what is he going to use all that gas for? I'm going to assume that he's going to make a bunch of Blink Stalkers or even Archons. So it looks like we have Psionic Storm on the way, so he is expecting to do a bit of Psionic Storm damage and then straight away convert them to Archons. Now that's quite a normal response, I suppose. It's quite good against Hydralisks. It's not so great against Phoenixes, but it's not too bad if you blanket the whole area, because then you're essentially limiting the area of the Phoenixes. Okay. So it looks like we have a Lurker Den on the way also. And let's see how this game is going to progress. He's about halfway through the map with his creep, which is all fine and well. And let's see, there's a big army here. I mean, the army supply is favoring DIMAGA, particularly because if you think about it, a lot of Welmu's supply is actually going to be put into those 7 Phoenixes. 7 Phoenixes are going to be a little bit useless when it comes to so many Hydralisks, because they're going to get wiped out as soon as they get close to him. So of course he's going to have to be very careful not to fly them a little bit too close, because if he does, that'll be a big disadvantage in supply for him. Phoenixes are on the way over here again. Picking off a few drones. And a bit of passiveness going on here. It's a little bit strange to see this, to be honest, especially when you have Phoenixes on the map. You'd expect them to do a little bit more than this. And funny to see, there's actually nothing being produced other than these lurkers for DIMAGA. So very, very low on production. Let's have a quick look at the income. It does appear that he's doing quite healthily there, about 1500 per minute. And wow, so many of these roaches actually just freely getting picked off here. This is actually quite huge. He's going to be able to even out the supply just a little bit before even fighting onto it. There we go. Some storms going down there. That's almost going to drain those high temperatures though. But it does look like they actually have quite a bit of energy each. So let's select those. Oh wow, there's a total of 7 of them there. So they're actually going to be in quite a good position to fight this, I think. Storms going down, a huge amount of damage going down as well with those, and he's absorbing pretty much all of them. Army supply has actually been evened out right now, so this is a very good position for Welmu. He's got a bunch of storms, he's got immortals, he's got phoenixes. He's going to be able to take this on straight on. Let's see, there is a little bit of a choke here, so not the greatest of position for DIMAGA. Oh no, he's put down time warps before the engage even happens. There's actually also lurkers in behind here. So there you go, the damage going out here. Only 1 lurker currently hitting them. And looks like he's going to have to bring more of these lurkers down here. A few psionic storms go down, missing completely, as well as the corrosive biles also missing. Now there is the harassment here. Look at that, a bunch of zealots being spawned into this base, taking out so many probes or drones. And this engage here, it's just such a tense moment. They don't know which one needs to engage, who's at a better position. I'm thinking that Welmu is a little bit ahead in this one. And the supply count is very even, but it's starting to quickly favor Welmu. These immortals doing absolute work on these roaches. And there we go, 90 to 61 supply right now. I think that if these phoenixes start to pick off these units, then at that point this game will be very, very quickly coming to an end. So I see there's a few transfers here. That's all fine and well. Let's continue on to here. And looks like the armies are about to engage. Now the army supply for Welmu is highly superior. 40 supply difference. All of these units getting lifted off as well. This just reduces the amount of damage that Welmu is able to, or DIMAGA is able to dish out. I think this very well might be a GG right here. Are we going to see it anytime soon now? I honestly do believe so. 13 minutes into Central Protocol is quite actually a standard game. Not too long, not too short. And let's see here. So drones are starting to get taken out as well. GG is called here. 12 drones in total were taken out here before the force GG. But as you can see, the worker count 21 to 65 in total. Definitely favoring Welmu. And I think that would have continued on if this game continued. Okay, and that is game number 2 between Ukraine and Finland. I hope you have enjoyed that. Please, of course, leave it a thumbs up if you did. And our question of the series, I don't think I actually mentioned at the start of the video, is what do you feel about marine and siege tank pushes for the Terrans? Do you think that it's a bit of an overpowered thing? Do you think it's a bit boring? Do you think that it's kind of a one fit for all? Let me know. And that's pretty much it. I'll end it here. Good luck. I'll see you guys in game number 3.